Death Parade is a 2015 anime series based off a pilot movie thing, Death Billiards. It has been a couple of years since an anime had so much to say about the human condition and had such a new way to tell it. The plot follows the mysterious arbiter bartender Decim and his human assistant Chiyuki as they welcome people into their bar.
For one, I'm afraid I cannot provide you with any information regarding your current location. Number two, now that you are here, we shall have you play a game.
I'm sorry, play a game?
Number three, as to game selection, that will be decided upon by roulette. Number four, the stakes of the game are very high, your lives in fact.
What the hell are you talking about?
And number five, don't worry, this is the final. Until the game is completed, you cannot leave.
Huh?
That's new. Reminiscent of the Saw, Final Destination films and the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga, people play a game in the need to survive. This is an existing genre, it's called torture porn. Yeah, that's the actual name of the genre. Watching people desecrate their own bodies. Why does this exist? Horror cliches result in us expecting the absolute worst in the situation. In the act of misdirecting the audience, what starts out as a dark, bloodthirsty addition to the torture porn genre becomes something much, much more. The bar Decim is in fact the afterlife. Yeah. And Decim, the judge of whether the recently deceased go to the void or are reborn. Where they go after they die. The purpose of the games are not only designed to mimic life, but to bring out the worst of people's personalities by placing them in life or death situations. By doing this, Decim can see their true personality and judge them on where they should go, heaven or hell. The core of the show is watching the judgments unfold and learning about the players involved as they shine a light on different aspects of humanity, both good and bad. Chiyuki watches on and slowly learns to look at the games with disgust, claiming that the games are forced. Ways to create bad people out of those merely desperate to live, sometimes not even for selfish reasons. Judgment is a huge theme in this series. Who gets to judge others? What is right? What is wrong? Is anybody above judgment? The finale seems to imply no. Having both of our main characters judged, quite ironically. Chiyuki tested of a desire to live and see her mother again, and Decim's humanity is put to the test and judged as well. These are two characters who truly fix each other. The reason for their initial conflict is empathy, or lack thereof. Remember that word, empathy. Decim is importantly not human. Basically the equivalent of a mannequin. He sees morality and people as absolutes. Data. Of course he does. It's literally his sole purpose. But on the other hand, we have Chiyuki's disgust, which when boiled down equates to the belief that people are complex and shouldn't be judged in life or death by the worst of themselves. There's more to humans than innocence and villainy, and we know this for fact. As the very first person sentenced to the void in the show is hinted to have faked her evil turn all along, showing that this system can be wrong, right from the very start actually. This show debunks the idea and how foolish it is that a god deciding your entire life's quality would be. Decim and any other afterlife is inherently broken. Decim and all the arbiters definitely have a very black and white viewpoint on humanity. Good ones go here, bad ones go there, but actually the destinations of the dead are a bit more ambiguous. In the English dub, these places are labelled heaven and hell, an easy simplification for a Christian audience. In the original translation, these places are described only as reincarnation and the void. This is clearly tied to the Japanese religion of Buddhism, but the reincarnation concept is integral to the larger message of the show, so don't let this Christian westernization confuse you. Those deemed less than satisfactory go to the void, a dark, terrible place of nothingness. And those worthy are reincarnated and put back into the world. Remember this. Reincarnation, rather than, heaven, of course, insinuates that those lucky enough get put back to the sentient cycle for another little go-round. This is where Chiyuki ties in. Chiyuki is Desim's sense of empathy. Desim has never been alive and so cannot truly understand human nature, as curious as he is. And in the finale, Desim realises this and he uses it against her for a final test. Desim shows her mother, grieving over her daughter's loss, and tells her that she can return to her in exchange for another innocent person going to the void. It's the total test of empathy, and it takes insane selflessness for her to resist and say no. As a result of this reaction, Desim breaks down and shows his first true sign of human emotion. This day he learns empathy. He finally understands it. But ultimately, that is what Death Parade is truly about. It's not good or evil that decides what kind of life we live, but empathy, understanding of each other.
私押せない。
なぜですか？
みんな誰かのことを思って。
千雪さんとは何の関係もない人間なんですよ。
そんなの分かってる。分かってるけど、私とは関係ない人でも必ずどこかにその人を大切に思ってる人がいるの。お母さんみたいな人が。
Everybody matters to somebody. We all survive because of that shared understanding. In Death Parade, maybe that's the point of life. The point that Quintessence doesn't serve as at the end, but merely maybe just a filter. Removing those who lack empathy and returning those who do back to the living world to continue life. Death Parade's imagery is also a sight. The main character of Desim's hobby is the perfect metaphor. He collects dolls and fashions them to do the everyday acts of humans, mimicking life, quite like him. The ending, for example, is as good a character deconstruction as you will see. The doll here represents Desim, only having one eye and a hole where the heart should be. The rose is life, the beauty of life. Maybe even Chiyuki. As the doll tries to reach to the rose and understand life, the other dolls crumble around it, and he breaks even more than before. This is even more effective when you remember that Desim's dolls are people he has judged from previous lives. Desim's confused existence is a hellhole, and he can't understand a single thing about it. Whew, some hairy stuff. Debunking heaven, the reason we exist. Some depressing stuff in there, but why is Death Parade so, considering? So cheery, so inspiring. Yeah, some episodes are downright depressing, but others are insanely heartwarming. People joke about the opening being so cheerily out of tone with the actual series, but it's not just like this for juxtaposition. Death Parade is the celebration of life, in the ways that humans spend their lives. Playing games, having fun with each other, understanding everyone.